All right, let's dive into one of the greatest stories ever told, the romance of the Three Kingdoms. We're going right to the beginning, to this incredible moment where a single act of defiance kicks off a legend and puts three sworn brothers on a collision course with history itself.
And this is the question at the very heart of our story. When the system is broken, when the people in charge are corrupt, at what point do you say enough? Keep that in mind, because our heroes are about to face that exact choice.
So, let's set the scene. We're meeting our heroes right after they've proven themselves in the heat of battle, fighting to save the entire Han Dynasty. But as they're about to find out, winning the war doesn't mean you get the prize.
We're talking about Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei. These three just fought their hearts out to crush the Yellow Turban Rebellion, a massive uprising that almost tore the empire apart. I mean, they were genuine heroes. But the government, it's rotten to the core. So while all these well-connected phonies are getting promotions, our guys get nothing. They're totally ignored. Finally, after all that, they're thrown a bone. A tiny post as a magistrate in some backwater county. It's really more of an insult than an honor.
But Liu Bei, being the man he is, takes the job and does it with absolute grace. He governs with total integrity. He refuses to take a single coin from the people he's supposed to be serving. He and his brothers, they literally eat from the same pot, live under the same roof. Their bond is unbreakable. And this simple decency, it makes them stick out like a sore thumb in an empire just consumed by greed.
Yeah, you just know that peaceful, quiet service isn't going to last long, right? The very corruption they were fighting on the battlefield is about to come knocking on their door, and it has a name, the Regional Inspector.
And you can just feel the tension from the very first second they meet. Liu Bei, as the local magistrate, does the proper thing. He shows his respect with a low bow. The inspector? He doesn't even bother to get off his horse. He just gives this lazy little flick of his whip. For proud warriors like Guan Yu and Zhang Fei watching this, it is absolutely infuriating.
And it gets so much worse. Back at the office, the inspector doesn't just critique Liu Bei's work. No, he goes for the throat. He attacks his very identity, accusing him of faking his royal ancestry and lying about his war record. This is a massive, massive assault on Liu Bei's honor.
And then, suddenly, it all clicks into place. This isn't a real inspection. It's a shakedown. A clerk pulls Liu Bei aside and spells it out for him. All this arrogance, all these accusations, it's an act. What the inspector really wants is a bribe, plain and simple.
And this is Liu Bei's trap. It's a real catch-22. His own virtue has become his greatest weakness. Because he's been an honest official, because he hasn't extorted the people, he has no money to pay the bribe. He's trapped. His own integrity has left him completely powerless against a corrupt system.
Well, you can only push a good man so far. And for Zhang Fei, the most hot-headed of the three brothers, his breaking point has just arrived. The time for talking is officially over.
So get this, Zhang Fei, already fuming, has a few cups of wine to take the edge off. As he's riding by the inspector's place, he sees a group of elderly people outside, weeping. When he asks what's wrong, they tell him the guards beat them, just for trying to speak up for Liu Bei. And that's it. That's the final straw. This is no longer just an insult to his brother. Now they're hurting the innocent people they swore an oath to protect.
And Zhang Fei just erupts. He doesn't think, he just acts. Kicks the door in, grabs the inspector by his hair, drags him screaming into the street and ties him to a horse post. Then he snaps off a thick branch from a willow tree and just starts whipping the man without a shred of mercy.
Liu Bei comes running out, tells him to stop, and this is what Zhang Fei yells back. You have to understand, in his mind, this isn't rage, it's justice. He has this simple, fiery code. If you're a scoundrel who hurts the people, you deserve to die. It's who he is.
So the inspector is beaten, humiliated, rough justice has been served. But now, the real choice falls to the leader, Liu Bei. What does he do now? Does he uphold the law of a corrupt system, or does he stand with his brother?
This is when Guan Yu, always the cool-headed strategist, steps in. He sees the bigger picture. This tiny, corrupt job, it's a cage. He tells Liu Bei, a phoenix does not nest among thorns. Basically, we're better than this. He says they should just kill the inspector, quit this pathetic post, and go find the greater destiny they were always meant for.
And there it is. This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance for Liu Bei. He can apologize, punish Zhang Fei, and try to keep his insignificant job. Or he can turn his back on the whole rotten system and stand with his family. Liu Bei makes his choice. He walks over, takes the official seal, the very symbol of his authority from the Han Empire, and hangs it around the inspector's neck. It's this quiet, powerful, and totally defiant gesture. He's literally giving his power back to the corrupt system that gave it to him.
And with these words, he delivers both judgment and mercy. He shows his compassion by sparing the man's life, but he makes his decision crystal clear. He's leaving. He's choosing brotherhood, he's choosing a higher justice over a tainted career. This one decision changes absolutely everything. They're not just unemployed now. They're fugitives, the criminals. But by throwing off the chains of that corrupt authority, they're finally free to become masters of their own fate. This is where their real journey begins. And that's the question this incredible story leaves us with. By giving up this tiny bit of official power, did Liu Bei actually find his true path to leadership? This one moment of defiance is what starts to define him not as an official of a dying empire, but as a hero.